I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make honey cheddar beer bread. About an hour from now, we're going to be able to have fresh bread on the table for people to enjoy. So you're going to want to start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees. Next, you should probably pre-measure all of your ingredients. It's a great idea to have everything laid out before you start baking. One, so halfway through you don't realize you're missing something. Two, it means everything's going to be right there when you need it. So for this recipe, we need 3 cups of flour, which I already have measured out in this big bowl here. We need a tablespoon of baking powder. Now be careful, baking powder is different from baking soda. Baking soda comes in a box. Baking powder usually comes in a tube. You want a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of honey. Ideally try to get some honey that's local, but honey is better than no honey. 1 bottle of your favorite beer. I like Blue Moon in this. 4 tablespoons of butter. You're going to want to melt this, so make sure you have a nice microwavable container for it. And 1 cup of grated cheese. I like nice sharp Wisconsin cheddar. So first things first, you've got your flour, you've got everything measured up. What you need to do is grease your pan. Get a little bit of butter, not part of the 4 tablespoons that you already have measured up, and just rub down the whole pan. And don't be stingy with your butter. Butter is your friend. Butter is going to keep everything from sticking. It's going to help make sure that your crust is golden and brown and delicious. And it's not nearly as bad for you as everyone says it is. So give butter a chance. Add it to just about everything, and all your food's going to taste amazing. And in this case, be really generous with how much you rub on the pan. That's going to keep anything from sticking. Alright, after the butter, we actually want to take our flour again, set the bread pan aside, and start adding our other dry ingredients. So to the flour, we're going to add our tablespoon baking powder. We're going to add our teaspoon of salt. Make sure you don't get those two mixed up. Then, after we get the butter off of our hands, take a whisk, stir it all up. You're just trying to make sure that everything is evenly distributed so that when the baking process occurs, nothing gets all weird and there aren't strange pockets of ingredients going on in there. Alright, that is actually good enough right there. So, next step, got our honey here. You also want your honey in a microwave safe container. So right now we're going to throw it in the microwave for about 15 to 20 seconds. We want it nice and smooth. While that's warming up so that it pours nicely, we're actually going to crack open our beer. You can use just about any beer for this. The ingenious thing about beer breads is if you want to change up the flavors, you can use different beer. Pour it in. You're going to see it get kind of foamy. Don't be scared. That's normal. Use your spatula and start folding in the beer to the flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. It's still going to be really foamy. Don't worry. That'll all disappear shortly. Make sure while you're doing this, you're just constantly scraping the sides of the bowl. Get all the dry ingredients mixed in. Alright, so that is all incorporated now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the honey out, we'll put the butter in the microwave. We want this melted in a moment. Butter's going to go in there for probably about 35 seconds. Honey's nice and warm, it's going to pour in nicely. we'll just pour it right on top of our dough. And we want all the honey, so you want to scrape that out of there. So another benefit of making this recipe with honey as opposed to sugar, because as you may have noticed, there's absolutely no sugar in this recipe, other than what might already exist in your beer, is that the honey actually helps keep your bread fresher longer. The hygroscopic nature of honey, its ability to hold on to moisture, actually keeps the bread fresh for several days. Just don't throw it in the fridge, but it will taste delicious for several days. So fold in your honey. Until it's nice and distributed throughout all the dough. Alright, so that's all nicely mixed in. Now, the fun part. I'm from Wisconsin, so I'm a little biased. We're going to add a whole cup of cheese here. Add that in. Get all of it in there. It's going to look like you have too much. But 1 cup is just about right. It's going to be perfect. Fold that in until all the cheese is evenly distributed in the dough. All right. Should look something kind of like this. Now, we pour it into our pre-buttered bread pan. Just keep scraping. You don't even have to be all that pretty or all that nice with it. It's going to distribute pretty evenly. All right. Get that in there. Try to get the corners. But, again, it doesn't have to be pretty. This is something you want to throw together really fast. It's going to look a little something like this. That's our reminder about the butter. So 35 seconds was about perfect. The ramekins going to be a little warm, so be careful. All you want to do, pour it on top of the bread. What this is going to do is while it's baking, it's going to keep the top a little bit moist, but towards the end, make it really nice and crunchy and golden brown. The butter is also going to start seeping around the sides of the bread towards the end, help make the entire outside of the bread just buttery and delicious. Never skimp on butter. Alright. Mix back and forth a little. Cool, it's ready to go in the oven. You want to put it in a 350-degree oven for 40 to 50 minutes. In my oven, 45 minutes is absolutely perfect. When you want to test it about 40, you take a bamboo skewer, stab it in the top. If it comes out without batter on it, you're good. That's it. I'll see you in 45 minutes. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes, so our bread should be done. We're going to test it just in a moment after we take it out of the oven. All right, smells amazing. This is about what you want the top to look like. It's golden, it's brown, there's some dark spots. That's just cheese. You're totally fine. So, throw that on top of your cooling rack, protect your countertop, and you don't need to leave it in the pan for a while to cool. You can flip it out right away, throw it onto a cutting board, serve within minutes. Slides out nicely. That's because of all that butter. Make sure that it doesn't stick too much, and we're set. This is going to be kind of hot still, so be careful. Use some towels as oven mitts. But there you have it. That is honey cheddar beer bread. If you want to keep it for several days, wrap it up tightly in aluminum foil, and whenever you want a piece, rip it open, cut off a slice. Just don't put it in the fridge. That'll help dry it out, which is what you don't want. All right, enjoy. Enjoy.